Hey guys, this is the social studies assignments. I modified all three worksheets. This is if you are doing the packets that you have. So this week, pages 4, 5, and 6 are due. All right, so this is the picture here of page 4. I modified it, so I made a little chart, California Golden Growth. I'll go ahead and read it, and then you're going to complete the chart for page 4. Okay, page 5, I shortened it quite a bit so that you have, I think, only two multiple choice questions. So I'll read the article aloud and you answer the two questions below. This is page 6. It's Stephen Austin biography. Listen to the passage being read aloud on my post and answer 4 multiple choice items below. All right, so pages 5 and 6 are just multiple choice questions. Select the best answer. And page 4, you have to fill in the chart and answer the two questions here. All right, so let's read these. This is for page 4, Map Mystery, California Gold and Growth. Look at the map for gold rush towns. And it says California Gold and Growth. On January 24th, 1848, James Marshall discovered gold near Sacramento, California, while building a sawmill for John Sutter. Gold fever quickly hit the nation and the world. The following year, thousands of people called 49ers began moving to California. Some came over land, others came by sea. The population of California grew by 100,000 in just 2 years. Not all of these newcomers lived in the new mining camps, however. One community's population jumped from being a small village to a city of more than 20,000. What place enjoyed this tremendous growth? So answer the following questions on this sheet of paper. As you can see, clue 1, the 3 towns are, you look at the ones by the black dots. Clue 2, building supplies would be closer to gold in either San Francisco or Los Angeles. Clue 3, which is closer to get to if you were coming by ship, San Francisco or Los Angeles? Which town was more affected by the gold rush, Los Angeles or San Francisco? And the last one, blank was more affected by the gold rush because, and then look at the clues and answer that. All right, let's go to number 5. Okay, page 5. A frontier lady, Sarah Royce, 1819 to 1891. I'll go ahead and read that. It's kind of long, so bear with me here. It is kind of a long article, but I made the questions pretty easy. You only have to answer 2 questions, A or B. Okay? Sarah Royce was an Englishwoman who emigrated to the United States with her husband and 2-year-old daughter, Mary. They traveled with a wagon train to Salt Lake City and from there continued with a small band to California. Having set out one evening to cross the desert before daylight, the company missed a fork in the road. Soon the people were in the middle of the desert without water or feed for their cattle, which pulled the wagon. They decided to retrace their steps and look for water and feed in the right road. Okay, so the questions you're going to answer is number 1, why is Sarah Royce determined not to ride in the wagon even though she is tired? Number 2, how does Mrs. Royce feel about having to turn back? Why? Okay, we resumed our depressing backward march. I had now become so impressed with the danger of the cattle giving out that I refused to ride except for occasional brief rests. So I left the wagon and walked the remainder of the day. For a good while I kept near the wagon, but by and by, being very weary, I fell behind. The sun had set and the light was fading fast when the wagon disappeared from my sight behind a slight elevation, and as the others had gone on in advance some time before, I was all alone in the barren waste. However, as I recognized the features of the neighborhood, I felt no particular worry, only a feeling that it was a weird and dreary scene, and instinctively urged forward my lagging footsteps in hope of regaining sight of the wagon. The next morning we resumed our backward march, after feeding out the last mouthful of fodder to the animals. The water in the little cask was nearly used up in making coffee for supper and breakfast, but if only each one would be moderate in taking a share when thirst forced him, we might yet reach the wells before anyone suffered seriously. We had lately had but few chances of cooking, and only a little boiled rice with dried fruit and a few bits of biscuit remained after we had done breakfast. If we could only reach the meadows by noon. But that we could hardly hope for. The animals were so weak and tired. There was no alternative, however. The only thing to be done was to steadily go on determined to do and endure to the utmost. Okay, so go ahead and answer those two questions. And page 6, Stephen Austin biography. Listen to the passage being read aloud and answer the 4 multiple choice items below. Okay, so when was he born? That's number 1. Number 2, read the last 2 sentences of the passage. What year did he die? Number 3, what early experiences prepared him for building settlements in Texas? A, he learned about the hard work needed to settle when his family moved to Missouri and was around many cultures. B, he learned about hard work in Virginia where he grew up. C, he moved to Texas as a kid and was around the French. Or D, he moved to Mexico City and was arrested. And number 4, Stephen Austin is most known for A, going to Washington, D.C. looking for help for the Texans, or B, making American settlement successful in Texas. Okay, so let's read the passage. Stephen Austin. Stephen F. Austin once wrote a letter that described his goals. My object, he wrote, was to build up for the present as well as for future generations. Build up he did. Austin's efforts were the most important factor in making American settlement successful in Texas. Austin was born in southwestern Virginia in 1793. That area was frontier then. When he was only 5, his family moved to Missouri. The land there, too, had very few settlers. Austin had a chance to see the hard work and strong will needed to settle a wilderness. He gained other valuable experience in these years. Most Missouri settlers were French and Spanish. Austin became accustomed to living in a multicultural community. Austin's father Moses had won the right from the Spanish government to begin a settlement of Americans in Texas. When Moses died in 1821, Stephen took charge of the project. He quickly brought the first English-speaking Americans to settle there. Austin met difficulties there, however. Texas was a part of Mexico, which had just won independence from Spain. He feared that Mexican officials might not recognize the land given to his father by Spain. He traveled to Mexico City and skillfully won the right to continue building his settlement. Others received land grants as well. Only Austin could settle all this land. He served as the political leader of Texas for many years. In the 1830s, Texans became unhappy with Mexican rule. Austin tried to work out a compromise with the Mexican government that would make Texas an independent state of Mexico. While in Mexico City, he was arrested and held for many months. By the time he returned to Texas, many settlers were speaking openly of complete independence. Soon after, war began. Stephen F. Austin went to Washington, D.C. to see if President Andrew Jackson would help the Texans. He returned to Texas in 1836 and became Secretary of State in the Republic of Texas. Unfortunately, Austin died soon after in that year. Okay, so use the article to answer the 4 multiple choice questions. All right, talk to you guys later. Hope you get your social studies work done. Let me know if you have questions. Bye.